The way money is dished to Rutendo Matinyarare, in fact, is dished publicly, not only to Rutendo Matinyarare in Zimbabwe, it should actually worry a lot of the people of Zimbabwe. We are witnessing broad daylight corruption played out to the eyes of the people of Zimbabwe. It's like a movie. I can actually attest to you. So yesterday we saw Rutendo being lured with a vehicle by Paul Tempter Tungwarara in an effort to bring him back to support ZANU PF's illegal 2030 constitutional amendment bill number 3 of 2026. We've seen Rutendo mounting so much opposition to that bill, exposing Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa, the children of Mnangagwa, as well as also Gudawashe Takure and Temba Mliso being thrown into the fray, audios being released as proof. He had V11s. I can tell you the man was after banning ZANU PF. The question still lingers on. If we accept these gifts, are these gifts not meant to lure him so that it's easier to actually silence him? Or are these gifts brought back to him so that he begins from where he left in terms of promoting the government and the regime of Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa? What has proven beyond reasonable doubt is that money makes the senses of Rutendo Matinyarare to work very well, especially if you want him to do something. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hlopani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. So, the so-called presidential advisor, Paul Tungwarara, has announced that he will be offering Rutendo Matinyarare US dollars 200,000 in cash, in addition to a brand new Toyota Land Cruiser that Matinyarare has already accepted. According to Tungwarara, the 200,000 US dollars is intended to settle a debt owed to Rutendo for services he provided to the country. Matinyarare has been a vocal critic of Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3, and some people have interpreted the offer as an attempt to buy his silence. As part of the offer, Tungwarara urged Matinyarare not to involve the president and the first family in what he described as his personal issues. He also called on Matinyarare to refrain from publicly attacking the president, the first lady, or their children. Tungwarara further stated that he looks for the president and the work being done towards Vision 2030 as he had done in the past. Let me get it again because I saw the live broadcast almost actually switched off for some seconds. It says Tungwarara further stated that he looks forward to seeing Matinyarare once again support the president and the work being done towards Vision 2030 as he has done in the past. The mind-boggling question is whether Rutendo Matinyarare is going to indeed meet with Tungwarara, and also will he receive the gifts that have been already given to him by the so-called presidential advisor Tungwarara. So he wrote this on his page called Dr. Tungwarara. It's written, "Dear at Matinara, since you have courageously admitted your mistakes and publicly apologized to His Excellency E.D. Mnangagwa, First Lady Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, and the First Family, I'm announcing a roadmap to settle your claimed debt. I will give you an initial US 200,000 towards the invoices you claim for service provided to this country. Comrade, please ensure that you do not involve the president and the First Family in personal issues. Never publicly attack the president, the First Lady, or their children. If you love the father and the mother, you should love their children. I look forward to seeing you. You support the president and the great work he is doing, just as before, towards Vision 2030. And Rutendo Matinyarare responding, saying, much appreciated, doctor, and I have taken heed of your words. I will not bring the president, First Lady, and First Family into political debates. Rutendo Matinyarare seems to have been just silenced with money. You can see how money is weaponized by ZANU-PF to silence individuals. But to me, this is not just silencing Rutendo. To me, this is trying, in fact, not just silencing him, but making sure that they totally get rid of him altogether. So I see there is a lot of debate. All of a sudden, some they are supporting this, but I will never support someone who decides to support a political ideology based on being paid money, which means that is not from his heart. That such individuals are very dangerous. They are not progressive. They don't love the country. Rutendo does not love Zimbabwe, as he claims. It's someone with just a prize. If you can make an offer better than ZANU-PF and say, please go on, continue attacking the Mnangagwa family, I can tell you he will resume the attacks. And if they offer a much higher figure, so I see already Barakashis online, for example, Vashona said, so you guys have already held an offline meeting and agreed that you never attacked the president. So you also agree with the advisor that Dr. Tungara should pay you. How much, even Barakashis, they are shocked by this. It's quite interesting how money actually make the hearts of certain individuals beat. So let me see. In the morning, I saw Rutendo post. In the morning, I saw he posted something, but I didn't have time to actually go through that. Let me just put it on record. It says facts around, that is Rutendo Matinyarare writing this, facts around Rutendo and Dr. Tungwarara's engagement. He says, first, let me start by saying that I had never met or spoken to presidential advisor Dr. Paul Tungara until he approached me online yesterday. During this public engagement, like a true leader, he extended a hand of reconciliation through the gesture of a vehicle, which he said was in recognition of the work I have done for the country. He then invited me to a roundtable discussion to understand why I am publicly opposing CAP 3, critiquing the president's work, and expressing my separate frustrations regarding the government's non-payment in relation to my fight against sanctions. We subsequently had another discussion offline, during which he explained to me that the president is not responsible for my non-payment for the sanctions work, but that responsibility lies with Guda Takwire, whom was mandated to work with me. Additionally, he informed me that he would engage the president and all stakeholders on the way forward. As a result, in the same way that talks between ZAPU and ZANU led to the Unity Accord, and discussions between MDC and ZANU-PF led to the government of national unity. We are going to have a frank discussions and seek a suitable way to navigate our differing political positions around Cape 3. I also informed him that, contrary to the perception of some, I have no issue with the president, the first lady, or the first family. I have merely expressed the same constructive criticism on certain issues that I have raised since President Mnangagwa assumed office. And he has never taken issue with me criticizing him before, because he has always been a listening president who allows open and frank discourse. Already Rutendo has been taken away. I also considered that if indeed the president or I feel that any of my critique bordered on disrespect, I, as a child of Zimbabwe who has served the country loyally, would be willing to apologize publicly to eliminate any notion that I advocate for the disrespect of our leaders. I am a leader in our society, and all the work I have done, from fighting sanctions, combating xenophobia, and the expulsion of ZEP holders in South Africa, defending brand Zimbabwe, telling the good Zimbabwe story through documentaries on Trapapalas, Geopomona, Champion Foods, Maninze, David Whitehead, Kaya Cement, and others, to traveling to Congo and Rwanda to assist efforts to end the conflict, has been done to advance Zimbabwe and support the president's work, because I believe in his vision for the country. Ah, my God. You see, people without even manner. I've said, I indicated that I don't trust Rutendo Matinyarare. And the reason why he was throwing tantrums at his former bosses, it was because the tap for money was shut down. And it says, my views on Cape 3 do not stem from the non-payment issues, as has been suggested by those who attacked me in defense of Munatakure, but it has been based on my political outlook. I understand from the presidential advisor that he intends to engage all the relevant stakeholders in an effort to reconcile us and restore and strengthen unity we have always enjoyed. Lastly, the false notion that Dr. Tungwarara and I knew each other beforehand, or that he sent me to air my views against Cape 3 or the performance of the president, is unfortunate. The man now appears to be facing criticism simply for attempting to reconcile me with the party and the president, whom I have supported since he came into office. All the president's advisor is trying to do is foster reconciliation between one of the country's strongest advocates and its leadership, in much the same way that the president himself has pursued re-engagement with the Western world and with those in the political opposition with whom he has previously differed. Our nation has a long history of reconciliation, from the Unity Accord in 1987 to the Government of National Unity in 2009 in Poland, which I worked closely with in efforts to bring an end to sanctions on Zimbabwe. What the presidential advisor is doing aligns with the spirit of Zimbabwe, and I applaud it. Let those who seek to divide us not succeed in sowing divisions. This is quite interesting. The power of man, how it can change a man just like this. ZANU-PF knows. They identified the weakest link of Rutendo Matinyarare. What is his weakest link? Is money. Because each and every time when he was attacking Budawa Shetakure, he would say Buda could have been a good president, but he doesn't pay people for their services. He went on, Buda, he failed to pay so and so. It was all about payment. Of course, releasing information that is essential at the moment for the people of Zimbabwe to have a better understanding and appreciation of the road, and also the world now, because when we're analyzing this, speaking without the evidence that Rutendo Matinyarare has brought into the fore, then some people would not have believed us. Of course, let's thank God that for some moment they did not pay him money, and failure to pay him money, he made us to have an understanding of the road that exists within ZANU PF. Don't worry, we knew that Rutendo Matinyarare is what do I call someone who with he doesn't have manners. I think it's lack of manners also. In a way, he has behaved. He doesn't have values. He doesn't support anything with his conscience. Money makes his world turn around. That is the honest truth. And you know what? It is money that will also take him down. You don't get to actually allow money to control yourself in such a manner. Mark my words. This will end in tears. Thank you very much for watching us. If you're watching us for the very first time, please don't forget to subscribe so that when I switch on the camera through YouTube, you get to be the first one to connect with me. You can also financially support me by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars so that we continue with our work. But nothing will stop us even if there are no stars. Thank you very much for watching us. Is signing off. Let me love